So Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network and you got a ton of free coins and it's been worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. Launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better. Like,
Hey everybody, woohoo! Welcome back. Pulsechain, the door to magical gains. We're going to talk about that today. Obviously, we're going to get into some of the topics I was supposed to talk about in the last couple of days. So we're going to get into Bitcoin and the Bitcoin halving, the impact that's typically after that. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin ETFs and the inflows, how they're going. We're also going to get into Ethereum and track the probability of Ethereum ETF approvals. So we've got quite a bit of crypto stuff to talk about. Obviously, we're going to get into Pulsechain, the door to magical gains. We are in accumulation zone still. So accumulate is basically the main game there. And of course, then we're going to get into Hex daily stats, and we're going to touch on the Pulse conference, which has just started, I think about an hour ago. So that's on at the moment. So we're going to be getting into all that. So it should be a bit of fun. Get into the chat there, folks. Make it lively. We've got Lights Beneath in house here. Hello, how are you today? Very good. And of course, we've got the Hex Pulsex incentive for the win. Absolutely, gold crypto. We're going to talk about that today. Looking pretty good. So big shout out to Lights Beneath. Always brings in the alpha every day. All right, we'll see whether we have a few of our other mods jump in there soon. But let's get straight into it. On to the stock market results. So we had the Dow. This is the last day of the week for stock markets. Obviously, they only trade Monday to Friday. So a Dow rides broadening out a rally to notch a fourth weekly win. So still very positive environment for stock market. Let's check out the results. So we've got the Dow Jones up 0.33%, 125 points to 39,512. Remember, that's the top 30 industrials in there. The S&P 500 is up 0.16%, 8.6 points to 5,222. The NASDAQ is only down very slightly, 0.03%, 5.4 points to 16,340. So still a very good day, for wrapping up the week for the stock market there. US dollar up slightly as well at 105.17. Let's see if we got the commodities up there. No, commodities not showing today. Now, we do have a bit of news around the economics. Consumer sentiment has taken a hit as inflation outlooks remain sticky. Now, remember, the US economy is the world's big buyer, right? So somewhere like 2/3 of the economy, the 70% of the economy is consumption. And of course, the University of Michigan survey of consumers sentiment index fell to reading of 67.4 for May, down from 77 in April, as 1 year inflation climbed to 3.5%, up from 0.4% a month ago. So that's kind of where we obviously they want to get down inflation down to 2%, right? The fresh signs of consumer jitters about rising price pressure come just as the Fed speakers continue to signal a wait-and-see approach about whether to cut rates. And here's where the more confusion comes in, because we had the Minneapolis Fed President Kashkari express caution Friday about whether the current level of interest rates restrictive enough. So that's kind of, I think, going against where Powell was heading, the chair, saying that he couldn't rule out a possibility of a rate hike. Really? Oh my gosh, that wouldn't be great. So we're expecting a rate cut by September. That's kind of when we're expecting a rate cut, maybe even November, but September, hopefully. So that is pretty much it. Apart from that, pretty positive earnings season for the stock market. So let's move on from there. We'll get into crypto. Obviously, crypto, we had a bit of quite a green day yesterday. Remember, green stock market, green crypto. Well, we have had a pretty decent stock market, but again today. But unfortunately, Bitcoin not playing a ball there. We got Bitcoin down 3.28% at 60,912. We're still over 60K, so that's pretty positive. Ethereum, however, broken that 3K mark, down 3.8% at 2,916 at the moment. Those are the big moves. We've got out of the big winners, we've still got Tron is up 1.17%, sitting around 12.7 cents. Always seems to be around that price range these days. And then, of course, what else is looking interesting? Not too much else. We've got Bitcoin Cash, though. I don't normally talk about Bitcoin Cash, but that is down over 5%. So it's at $4.28 at the moment. So let's zoom in a bit more on Bitcoin, because we're going to talk a bit about this. We've got this a bit of a roll, slightly rolling over here, but this is to be expected, right? We expected this after the Bitcoin halving. How many days have we since the Bitcoin halving? Well, we're currently about 20 days, almost 3 weeks, starting today, since the Bitcoin halving there. And as we've talked about, maybe the next a month or 2 months is going to be volatile, like we've seen in the past. So we're going to check that out in a minute. But let's get into the averages first. We've got the 50-day moving average at 63,465, and we're below that, of course, at 60,842. We do see a bit of a curve down there at the moment, like a very slight rollover at the stage, but we've still got a rising 200-day moving average course, and that is sitting at 52,930, so well above that for the time being. So we're about 3 weeks since the halving. Let's have a look at the chart here with the halving history. And of course, we can see that typically, the last two halvings here, we've had a bit of a choppy or even a move down back in 2008. So we had a move down there, and then before we had this hyper rally, right? So that's what we're all expecting to see. A bit choppy for the next month or two, and then maybe a hyper rally in for the full-on bull market, right? Before we get any pullbacks. Similarly, for the last halving back in 2020, we had that pullback. And then we had this hyper rally again. So this is what we're looking for coming up there. So really, along with Pulsechain, we're still in this accumulation zone, right? Accumulation zone here right now. And so look, if we look at the halving we just been through 3 weeks ago, we're still in a kind of very similar looking pattern at the stage. So that's kind of, I think, we're anchoring sort of expectations at the moment. History, rhyming as well. So kind of cool. That is where we are at the moment. Now, obviously, we've also had, let me get rid of that. We also had the Bitcoin ETFs, right? So since the 1st of January, since the 10th of January, we had the Bitcoin ETFs operating. And we can see that, we had huge inflows, right? And of course, we've had some outflows just to start to taper off. So you can sort of see just recently a bit of exhaustion after like 3 months of really bullish ETFs. And of course, obviously, we had GBTC outflows. But just a chilling off at the moment, probably just in the same period of time that we just saw in the Bitcoin halvings, just to have a quiet period of time. Maybe we'll pick up in a month or two on the old Bitcoin ETFs. We did have a nice little closure day on the 5th here. It shows, so on the 3rd, sorry. And we'll just have a little bit of a pickup there. Looking at the actual Bitcoin that got pulled up, we had quite a positive day on the 3rd and the 6th of May, netting 6,300 Bitcoin, 3,600 Bitcoin. But the last couple of days, 7th, 8th, and 9th, they have been slightly negative, 154, 227, 292 Bitcoin there. So still, ETF still holding 831,000 Bitcoin. So it's still pretty good there. And of course, still dominated there by Grayscale, still at 291,000. BlackRock, of course, being the real star performer with the ETFs, the IBIT there is got 274,000, followed by Fidelity at 152,900. Some honorable mentions, of course, ARK there at 43,000, Bitwise at 33, and Van Eyck down there at 9,000, Valkyrie at 8,000, and Vesco at 6,774. Franklin Templeton, almost 6,000. China AMC, just below 2,000 there. Wisdom Tree, just above 1,100. Bozera Hashkey there at 1,100 as well, and Harvest at 1,100 there for the Bitcoin ETF. So that's kind of the latest in Grace flow. So a bit of a quiet down period, pretty much what we see at the halvings as well. It's interesting alignment there between obviously there was not ETFs back in the previous halvings, but interesting alignment there at the moment. So we'll probably get that pickup as we expected. In fact, I was supposed to bring up another chart, but I haven't pulled it up. I'm going to do that probably next week. So that's kind of where we are at the Bitcoins. Now we have sort of still got a very bullish outlook here. So we're going to look at, this is from Steffa, one of the two Bloomberg analysts that we follow. So a quick little video about, we had these patterns after the Bitcoin halvings for a month or two. And then of course we got the ETFs here, just, calming down a little bit after the first 3 months. But this is from Joe and Steffa, Bloomberg, and having a discussion and talking about how there's a lot of money in the money markets. In other words, a lot of money off that's not on the game, play game or whatever, the table, game table, because they're just sitting in money markets and they could come in to the market. Also, there are lots of advisor networks that not the big ones, they're not even in the game yet, even for the ETFs. So if they get in and start selling, that's going to be pretty huge as well. So let's quickly listen to this quick video between Joe and Stefan there from Bloomberg.
Raul Paul last week, and he had an idea that I tend to agree with. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this. That I think a lot of people are underweight the right tail of the distribution of outcomes, meaning just crazy bonkers rise, particularly in crypto, to say something like 10 trillion total market cap or something to that effect. I see a lot of chatter. Some folks I completely discount, saying that the top is in for Bitcoin. That's nonsense in my opinion. Other folks saying that they're that we're probably get to like 100K Bitcoin, maybe 110, 115. I don't see hardly anybody really beyond like Kathy Wood, right? Like anyone suggesting that Bitcoin could be trading 250, 300K, that Ethereum's trading 10,000, Solana's trading 1,000. Like I don't really see a lot of that, and that actually makes me even more bullish and increasing the probability of the right tail actually occurring over the course of the next, call it 12, 18, 24 months, something to that effect.
We're at record levels of assets in money market funds. So there's a lot of cash on there. So I guess, yeah, maybe you're right. There is a lot of people that still haven't fully bought in. On the same side, I talk to plenty of people, and it really particularly in this space, when I talk to people at these crypto type events, it doesn't seem like anyone's underweight the right tail. It seems like people are very risk seeking in this space.
All right, so that was from Joe and the step out there, the last chap, the Bloomberg analyst, one of the two that we follow. The other one is Balcones, which is not in this video. And so, yeah, lots of money off the table still that could come on the table. And the fact that expectations are much lower from a lot of the market participants that these guys are hearing from suggests that, yeah, we can overshoot that, right? It's always good when it's the other way around. And, of course, a lot of the advisors have not even jumped into the game, which he didn't really talk about much in that video, but as in another clip he has talked about. So pretty bullish, I think, in the future. Everything looking pretty cool, just in that quiet spot, accumulation spot at the moment. All right, so that was pretty cool there. Let's move on from Bitcoin, and let's see how we go. And we're going to get into Ethereum. Of course, Ethereum there at the moment at $2,910. We've got yesterday's high was 33,053. So obviously we've been as low as 2,878. Currently slightly off the bottom at the moment. Started a brand new candle, of course. The 50-day moving average obviously is just tilting down as well. A bit of a slight rollover there. Is down at $2,906 at the moment. We got the 200-day moving average at 2,788 at the moment. So yeah, we're just on the top of the bottom half of the range there. So we've got a bit of support there on the at 2,800, let's say, just to round it up. So that's going to play there. Now, obviously, we're getting closer to the Ethereum ETF approvals expectations, but obviously confidence is not high for that. And we're only, how far away? We're only 12 days away for that. So that was kind of going to be the next big event after the Bitcoin halving, was the Ethereum ETF. So that's still 12 days away. but it looks like some of these will be being pushed into July. So let's have a quick look at a bit of a write-up about this. And of course, we had Ethereum. We had Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin has blasted the SEC commission because it's obviously SEC commission's been coming after a lot of players in crypto. Obviously, very well-known individuals as well as centralized exchanges and things like that. So Joseph Lubin here blasted the SEC for the recent enforcement actions against Ethereum-related companies. So that's kind of been in play there. Let me just scroll down through some of that. So he's been talking about that. He thinks that maybe they'll try and said that the SEC seem to have classified Ethereum without telling anybody. Typical ploy, right? He described the regulators' recent actions as a deliberate attempt to stifle innovation that will recently transform the landscape. And we saw yesterday at Mar-a-Lago, of course, Trump get asked by part of the crypto community about his views on crypto, and he was supportive of crypto with appropriate regulation environment compared to say Biden, who was been undermining crypto. So that was pretty bullish there for potentially 5th of November should Trump win that, and of course he is winning in most of the polls for that to potentially happen, particularly the battleground states. Consensus earlier sued the SEC in April for exercising unlawful authority over Ethereum after receiving a Wiles notice from the regulator. Lubin said it aims to get clarity around the courts on Ethereum's status as the Commodity and Futures Trading Commission. It's already classified it as a commodity. He also noted the SEC may be concerned about increased attention and capital that Ethereum is getting, considering its improvement in scalability and usability. Lubin stated that the recent actions targeted against Ethereum-related firms could be because of the upcoming deadline for the SEC to decide on Van Eyck's spot Ethereum ETF application. We believe that there's a flurry of activity designed to enable them to say that their action wasn't capricious in the very likely event that they deny the Ethereum spot ETF. So maybe they're setting up a bit of a straw man for denying. And of course, meanwhile, Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenschein also said at the summit on Wednesday that he's confident that the SEC would approve. So this is a different point of view altogether. Company's application to convert its Ethereum trust to a spot ETF. So he's kind of on the bullish side. This comes after the company withdrew its application for Ethereum futures ETF on Tuesday. At Grayscale, he says, we decided to focus our energy on spot products, obviously with Ethereum ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs getting approved. And that's really core to our DNA, he says. However, many interpreted Grayscale's decision to withdraw its Ethereum futures ETF application as a sign of impending spot ETH ETF denial from the SEC. Considering it took Grayscale to defeat the SEC in a legal battle for Bitcoin ETFs to come to market, many had earlier anticipated the firm might do the same if its spot ETH ETF application is denied. In response to Sonnenschein's optimism, however, Bloomberg analyst Eric Balkahunas, is the other one other than Stefan that we follow, disagreed with that the SEC would approve a spot ETH ETF this year, stating that as pessimistic as ever. So I've been saying for some time that the chances of that being approved is up to 25%, which is not great. Whereas for Bitcoin we had up to 90%, and of course that did get approved. Pessimistic as ever. These guys probably even way lower than 25% chance now. Let's say 10%, I don't know, something like that. He also mentioned that the US election in November is a big variable in determining whether spot ETH ETF will come to market. Obviously, Trump has come out yesterday supportive of cryptocurrency, so that's bullish news. I disagree, says in quotes, we are as pessimistic as ever. I mean, at some point it could happen, but not within a year, in my opinion. So here we are. We've got a whole another year. Is that what's going to happen? So could it be not till the early side of next year or the second half of next year before we get an approval? So it gets deferred and denied coming up in, was it 12 days' time? What they say is in denial and the November election are big variables that could fine-tune the outlook. By the way, he also said that they withdrew the 33 Act futures ETF because blah, blah, blah. So there we are, May the 9th, 2024 for that one. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So we'll see how we get on with ETH. That's going to lead us into Pulsechain, of course. So 12 days' time, we'll find out about that. And of course, we've got Pulsechain full year anniversary coming up. So that's probably even more bullish for us at the moment. Let's welcome a few other people in the chat there. We've got Brian, our community leader. What's up, Brian? Good to see you in the house as always. And we've got Sandy Beach in there too. Day 10 of the Books of Challenge. Books in the Books of Challenge, not on there. Day 10. And of course, that's jumping jacks and burpees, isn't it? Jumping jack and burpees. Big shout out from Sandy there. All right. Let's continue on with Pulsechain. And of course, we've got wrapping up the results for day 364. Can you believe it? Wow, wow, wow. Let's have a look at the anniversary countdown. 2 days to go. So we've obviously got the final day and then the next day, right? So basically 1 year. Some people have 1 year calendar today. Just depends on what deadline you're looking at for. We're going to go with the goalpost though, but we've basically got one more day to go for the year, and then the anniversary day, I guess, is the way we look at it on the 13th of May. All right, so let's look at the results for day 364. Quadruple 0609, down 3.45% at the moment on the old Pulsechain. So we're 61% of the mean sacrifice price. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 026, down 4.9%, and that means we're just at 26% of the mean sacrifice price. The buy and burn almost up to a year, and we're sitting up at 851.3 billion Pulsex is bought up and burned, and that is 4.19% of supply. If we add on the 800 billion for the Powers to Earn protocol, and that puts us, somewhere around 8%. So that's pretty good. And of course, incentive there at the moment down 7.63%. Now this was the star yesterday, and the ratio has come down a little bit there, obviously with the price of Pulse as well. The ratio is we're sitting over 54,000. We're now at 51,778 Pulse per one incentive token. The total supply 31,340,000 incentive tokens in existence, and of course they get emitted from the Pulse XV1 farm there. That's going to play. PHEX at the moment was also kind of the second best performer yesterday. That's just down just a little bit, actually, 3%. So that's actually kind of cool. It is the winner performer today because it's down the least. So that's kind of cool. So we're sitting at just at 96 hundredths of a penny. I think we're sitting just under a cent, about 99 hundredths of a penny. So that's actually pretty good for PHEX or Hex on Pulsechain. And we got EHEX there at 2/10 of a penny. And buying price of EHEX and PHEX still looking pretty good, relatively, 1.17 cents at the moment. Now, obviously, we've got the title of the video is Pulsechain, the Door to Magical Gains. Well, we're in that accumulation phase, right? So we've just gone through the markets. We've just gone through where Bitcoin is, what the ETFs are at, where potentially future money could come from. So, we've talked about all that. Obviously, we've dampened down the expectation around the Ethereum ETF approvals. And, of course, Pulsechain is in accumulation phase as well. And, of course, Magic Carp Ride at some point in time will start to emerge. So that's kind of the play there. We're coming up to that year. Maybe it's a year and a month. Maybe it's going to be the play there for the old Pulsechain. We obviously got the legal court case, I think it was in October there for Richard. So that's coming up as well. That's another potential date as well. So yeah, Door to Magical Gains, a nice little accumulation zone at the moment. Picking up a lot of the good stuff there from Richard Hart's Gold and Crypto. We're going to quickly go through the charts here on Pulsechain. On the weekly there, we've managed to bounce off 5,500 pretty much in the last 2 weeks. So that's kind of been bullish. And the RSI is tapered out here at 36. So looking pretty good. And we've got, a day or two to go, depending on which calendar you're on for the 1 year anniversary. So tick tock. Pulsex as well, looking slightly better there, holding this angular support. So that's looking pretty good. In fact, let me go full screen there. So that's looking pretty good. Let me just zoom out a bit more. We've got the higher low in play as well. We had a nice support level at this range as well. So let's just say 2,400 or something like that. And we're back over this angular support also. So Pulsex looking pretty good. We are getting a bit of a turning going on here as well between the 13-day and the 34-day. Obviously a bullish cross of that. Last time we had a bullish cross, look what it did. Huge rally on the old Pulsex. And we're starting to just turn here a little bit here. So if we can keep that turning, man, it could be another super rally here. So Pulsex looking pretty good. Really like picking up this. And, of course, could be very much the door to the magic carpet ride there as well. Magical gains, as I said in the video today, could really, really look out there. So you could be getting a really nice zone for pickup right now. So very, very cool. Let's go to incentive token. We're going to look at the ratio. And, of course, this is going to be hyper pump. Because we're holding up a very good zone here, especially if Pulsex turns to the upside. And, of course, that buy and burn looking really nice. So maybe it's a year and a day for the magic to happen. That kind of seems like a reasonable theory, doesn't it? And of course, there we are at the moment. So let's see if we can bounce off here for the old incentive token there. Richard, it used to talk about bringing in the Ethereum versions, matching them up with your free Pulsechain versions, and potentially making one of the biggest, most valuable yield farming on the chain, right? So definitely looking good with the incentive token here. All right, let's have a look at Hex as well. Hex at the moment still in the accumulation zone, also below the orange line, a particularly good zone for accumulating, and below 1 cent. So people, buy now, thank me later type of thing. Now, obviously, we're having to wait a lot longer than a lot of people would expect, but just accumulation is all you're going to do until we start to see that fruit, that magic carpet ride play off there. So that is Hex on the daily. And of course, Richard only, was it a month or so ago, reminded everybody in the market, listen, be careful what influences you listen to, because the pump is going to be, the magic is on the pulse chain, right? So Hex on pulse chain is the dominant, is the alpha male, so to speak. So that is the kind of play there. All right, got to listen very carefully to Richard's words and and follow them very, very carefully. All right, so at the moment, EHEX at the moment still looking good, 2/10 of a penny. Definitely got good upside. It will be dragged up regardless, right? Liquidity pools, Hart's Law, and all that sort of stuff. 7/10 of a penny is the sort of before we get some resistance there with the BankX wall. So plenty of upside, about 240%, just sitting there if you're patient. Now, the other one, of course, we're going to get into is the rest of the market. So let's go to the gas markets for this day. See, we are 419,000 beats, so pretty similar to yesterday. 9/10 of a penny for a PulseX transfer, PulseX swap, sorry. 5/100 of a penny for a Pulsecoin transfer, and 2/10 of a penny for a PRC twin transfer. Ethereum at the moment, it's a bit higher than yesterday. We were only down at 3 yesterday, remember? Some crazy stuff. We're at 5 today, which is still pretty low. And we're still 571 times cheaper than Ethereum on the PulseX swap. Only 9/10 of a penny and up to $5.20 on a Uniswap. So still great to do business on Pulsechain, as I always say. Let's go to the validators. See, we're at that 48,885. Looks like we're down a little bit there. Yeah, we've got the first day that we had a significant move down. We're at 1.56 trillion statement of validators, down from 1.57. And of course, previous to that, we're at 1.58. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. So a little bit off there, off the top. The bridge looking pretty good, pretty similar to yesterday, 108.8 million. So pretty similar numbers there for the bridge. All right, that is that. Let's go to the lock coins actually. So a quick look at the lock coins while we're here. So we've got 1.56 trillion Pulse locked with the validators, 839 billion Pulse locked with the liquid loans, and a little bit locked out with some of these other protocols. In terms of the PulseX, like I say, we had that about 850 billion, was it? Yeah, 850 billion PulseX buy and burn, and almost 800 billion with the PulseX there. So pretty good, around about 8%. Not too bad there at all. All right, so that's going to lead us into the final day here. Yeah, it's just ticked over here, day 365. So congratulations, accumulation day. The door to the magical gains is open for day 365. That is 1 year by most normal accounts, except for a leap year, right? So pretty cool. We're about to witness greatness. Are we? I think so. Let's go to the derivatives. Have a quick look at those. So we've got Acosa at the moment up 5%. That was pretty positive yesterday as well. Hedron, however, is down 1.4% on Ethereum. Acosa is up 13.7%, and Hedron is up 1.7%. So they've been doing pretty well. Those old derivatives there. Obviously, haven't got Maximus listed up at the moment. Keep forgetting to add those two. That's the base, the Maxi, the Trio, the Lucky, the Desi, and so we'll try and pull those up. All right, let's jump over to the stable coins. Have a quick look at those. PDI is down at 50, just up below 5,500. So 7.5%. So not too bad. Still holding there. Yet to achieve that 1 cent on its way to glory. Is it on the way to $1? $1 PDI. We will see. Let's see. HexDC still sitting around $1. So that's the latest stable coin, number 4. That's still doing pretty well there, down 3.9%, but still holding up there at the moment. And Coast is at 82 cents, waiting to get that back up and running, right? So for deposits and withdrawals, waiting for that next financial middle person, I guess, to set that up. So we're waiting for the news around that. Quickly go to the Wrap Bitcoin. Wrap Bitcoin at $226, down 6%. I think that's holding up pretty well, the old Wrap Bitcoin. And that is where we are. So let's go to the influencer coins and have a look at who's performing well. Well, it looks like we only got one. Is Steve Hitson's TEVE token, Scuba Steve. That is the only one that's up today, 5.3%. Let's see where everything else is going. Everything else only down a few percentage points for the most part, except for Bromance from Ben Armstrong. That's just been continuing to sell off, hasn't it? It's been continuing to sell off. It must be getting pretty close to the bottom, surely. This is Ben Armstrong's one, right? He launched that with Hexy Bastard on a YouTube video there that Ben Armstrong was doing. It's down 11.3%. So picking the bottom off this could be pretty tasty to the upside. So you definitely want to see what Ben Armstrong is doing around this. But at the moment, it's down at 0003949. So let's say, so that's where it's at, 0003949. Maybe finding a bottom at some stage to keep a track on that. I haven't got the RSI indicator on there. It's probably a bit early, but worth checking out there at the moment. All right, let's go to the overall and have a look at where Pulsechain is, what's hot today in terms of opportunities for the magical gains. Let's go to the 24-hour mark there. We've got a new token, probably looks at it, Peach, up at 11,700%. Let's have a quick look at this one. How long has it been around? Yeah, 1 hour and 55 minutes ago. So we're getting lots of these sort of things. You obviously got to make sure it's safe. I'm not endorsing any of these, of course. We're just looking at what is moving today. So that's had a nice little rally out of the gates. Apparently, it's got 329K liquidity in it, 943,000 market cap. Well, a little bit of selling going on here, a couple of $1,000 either side. 410 makers at the moment. Has it got a website? It does have a website. Let's look at the website. It's a Hex Orange Address project. Now, are these good virally? You guys can decide. Is it, are there so many coins that's like pump and dumpers? I don't know. You decide. I don't actually get too involved with the Hex Orange Address. I know they're trying to make, Pulsechain a bit more viral, and they've got lots of projects. So it's up to you really what you think about that. But that is where it's at the moment. Let's see here. We've got no issues on the quick intel. Buy sell text says unknown. And what else? We've got 54 rockets. Everyone seems to like it. And what else we got going there? Let's have a look at the supply of the tokens on the old Peach. Now, I don't know whether they've finished allocating supply, but we've got 9.3 billion with 567 holders there at the moment. Let's have a look at the holder count. There's quite a few holders with quite a few percentages there. It looks like the team wallet possibly has still got 19% in it. 1.7 billion there. That's kind of a bit of a move there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. It's the one that's hot at the moment. So if you got in there early, you would be pretty happy about that, I guess. Park token, that's up there as well. We're not going to get too much of that one. $2,007 liquidity. Let's go. Cream was doing pretty well. It's at $102. So let's go quickly. This is another HOA one, is it? Another HOA. Let's see, Cream. This is a bit of a DeFi, isn't it? We covered this the other day. They seem to have flash lines and Cream in there as well. So this one here's probably got a bit more economics behind it. Not sure. Just going to look at some of the assets here. Yeah, have to break it down, but that is got some staking going on as well. A market TVL at 43K there at the moment and reserve. So pretty small on that side of things, but hey, look, I mean, you're going to get these little projects up and running. The market's certainly rallying on at the moment, but be careful, folks. Don't buy the bottom, don't buy the top. Issues, Honeypot, no. Renounced ownership, unknown. So a few unknowns there. Hasn't got many rockets on it, so be careful out there as well. How long has it been trading? 12 days, 10 hours. So it's been trading for a while. I think we covered it the other day, but that's ticking away there at the moment. All right, I'll let us jump over to Na is also doing pretty well there, 14%. UFO obviously launched the other day. Supports along with Alien with the PGDC. So it's got a sort of a DAO reflection team, obviously being some of the top performers as the old UFO. So that's doing pretty well, up 8.8% there today. Not many makers or transactions on it though, I must say. And then, of course, we talked about Steve Hitson, up 5% on that one. Spock Swap up 4%. Chitin token there, that's another HOA from the looks or associated, up 3% as well. And then Crispy Man, out of the influencers, is the only one to etch out a bit of a gain there, up 1% on that one. So Steve Hitson and Crispy Man are making a little bit of game. Now the total volume, what we were at 35 million yesterday, well we're at 25 million today. So we're down 10 million from yesterday. Let's see if today, day 365, will bring us a nice little volume change. So tell everybody to start trading and get the volume up. Anyway, we got the transactions. We had 300,000 yesterday. We're at 275,000 today. So there we go. That is the results for Pulsechain. We're in the final day of trading. Can you believe it? That leads us into Hex. Before we get to Hex, though, let's welcome a few other people, a few other comments, and see who else has jumped in here. We got CC in the house there. Yo, yo, yo. The DJ King. We got Hex Go, yo. When Lambo, I'd be happy with a Toyota at this stage. Haha, says, hey, look, Toyotas are damn reliable. And I don't know. Some Lambos sound really good. Some Lambos sound a bit tinny. You decide. Wookie's had a good day on the course. Woohoo! Well, Wookie's enjoying the high life. He's going golfing at least twice a week now. Wookie, your little golf star. Brian says higher score than everyone. I'm not sure what you're referring to there around the score. Are you talking about the game? Are you talking about the Fortnite game? I think that might be what you're talking about there. Steve Wright's in the house. Hey, Steve Wright. Your approach to crypto is awesome. Thanks for all your help, says Steve Wright. Santa Barbara. Hey, Steve. Appreciate that. Very, very cool. No, I scored higher than the Wookie. Again, you guys are talking about Fortnite, aren't you? We got Brendan in the house, our TA Guru. Morning, Superman family. G5 magnetic storm just confirmed 50 minutes ago. Breaking news. Really? Are you talking about the sun? Is that what you're talking about? Magnetic storm from the sun? Is that what you're talking about? Whoa, I'll keep a lookout for those. I get a suntan today. I don't know. It is sunny here, but I can't see any was it fusion flames? Fusion flames? Yes, says Brennan. Yes. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we got some sun magnetic storms happening. Run for your lives! Run for your life. Where are you going to run to, man? Go underground? Going to go underground? I don't know. Maybe all your cell phones stop working. I don't know. Talking about that. Talking about golf, Wookie scored the highest other than the toxic. Oh, really? Oh, well done to Wookie on your golf game. I hope you got a hole in one. That's why I keep asking me. Did you get a hole in one? But yeah, we're still waiting on that one. Biggest one since 2003, says Brennan. Oh, well, we'll have to see whether that actually has a impact on any of the electrical networks or anything like that. All right, kind of cool. All right, what else there? Let's get into the Hex Data stats and see how we're getting on. We're going to wrap up, of course, with the Pulsechain conference, which started a couple of hours ago. And as you guys know, I typically just stream anyway, regardless of what's on. So here we go. We got a day 1621. Yep, 10th of May. This is on Ethereum. We got the price there at just under 2100th of a penny, up 9.6%. We'll take the price gains. So we've got price gains today, and we've got a very attractive payout as well. So we'll take the price gains. We'll take both of them. 7.236 hex per T-share, looking pretty good. No change in the share rate. Is that, I wonder if that numbers are, we got no change whatsoever. I don't know why that is. Anyway, so let's jump over to T-shares there. T-shares down 2,600. So we're sitting at 9,196,000 T-shares on the old Ethereum side. Let's have a look at the penalties. So we had 2.5 million penalties. So pretty tasty penalties today. No wonder that payout looks so good. And we're sitting at 66.5 million hex in the penalty pool there. Sorry, in the reward pool, I should say. Looking at the growth numbers, up 5 liquid holders and down 12 miners, sitting at 170,980 miners on the old Ethereum side. Jumping to Pulsechain. Now we're always slightly behind, right? Because the Pulsechain side numbers come out a bit later after the live stream, given the time when I'm doing it. But we have yesterday's numbers, which would be 2 days ago. That'll be day 363. Yeah, 363. So we got the 9th of May, just under a penny there, just under 9900th of a penny. And of course, up 12.7%. And that's the second day in a row to gains there. So that's pretty good for the Pulsechain. Looking at the payouts, 6.988, pretty similar to the day before. So almost 7, not too far away. So pretty good payouts on the old Pulsechain. And looking at the T-shares, T-shares down almost 7,000, sitting at 9,459,000 T-shares. So that's pretty cool. So what's that about? What did I say? 300,000 more T-shares, is it? Something like that than there is on Ethereum. Looking at the penalties, yeah, we got nice penalties too on Pulsechain as well. 1.7 million. Yesterday and the previous day was almost 2 million. They're sitting at 66.1 million in the reward pool there for Pulsechain. And finally, liquid holders up 20, miners down 11, and we're sitting just below 124,000 miners, about 6,000 more than there is on Ethereum. So that's the results for Hex. Check out hex.com, folks. Pretty cheap to get a t-shirt at the moment, given the price of Hex. $70 for a spot price for Ethereum, and $328 for a spot price for a t-shirt on Pulsechain. Those are what you need to start mining, right? So you have to buy Hex and then burn them for t-shirts. And of course, you can get even better rates. Longer pays better, and of course, bigger pays better. So you got Hex prices really good at the bottom of the cycle, pretty much. And then you're going to pick up a lot of these T-shares as well, despite the share rate going up. So good conversation there as well. Plus, longer pays better, bigger pays better. All right, that is Hex, and that leads us into the Pulsechain conference, which started a few hours ago. I guess they've started off with the panel here. Welcome to the best community. And of course, this is the day one, Friday. They had Access Alive and AJ Wild there, SJ Wild there as well, leading the way. I don't know what session they're in. Maybe they're in this second one here. Big Kowalski, David Feather, Crypto Stylist, and Money Crypto. It's probably the session that's on right now. And of course, coming up later on, they've got the speed round testimonials there. I'm not sure who's going to be on that with Matty Allen. And then a session after that, probably about 2 hours from now, maybe. They're going to have talk with Crypto Heartbeat. That'll be pretty good. And then a donor talk with Liquid Lines and Crypto Crazy. That should be pretty cool. Hopefully we'll get some insights about their exit. I think they're going to be doing some big partnership. Hopefully that's going to be, we'll find out about that. Maybe it includes a credit card and on-ramping and all that sort of stuff. So we're still waiting to hear about exactly what that partnership is about, but supposed to be something to do with exit, on-ramp, off-ramp type of sort of thing. Then we've got talk with Bunker Mentals. And then finally, the keynote, the power of incentive farming, which I think would be pretty exciting. And of course, also ABIT, KSB Line, and HexFi. So if you really want to deep dive onto Hex, you don't want to miss that session. That's all coming up today. And then finally, they're wrapping up with the socials, and they're going to have lots of influencers on there. So kind of cool. That is what's coming up for the Pulsechain conference today, which is currently on at the moment. Let's see who else, what comments we've got there. We're going to wrap up here. Let's see where we're going back up here. Hexarch says I'm already outside with my tinfoil hat on, so here, right for the sun. Yeah, yes, Wookie, let's do that. Says Brennan. I don't know what that's about. You guys are going to be hiding together or something? You may be enlightened. Oh, well, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're talking about rugby league. Brian says, I just noticed today that the hexcalc.net added Pulsechain to it at some point. I hadn't been there for a while. That's good news because Brian's one of the best onboarders in town. And so it's good. Another tool for Brian to use. He was talking about it needed to be updated. It looks like it has now. Let's see what else there. Sandy says, sorry, I'm doing double duty. Are you on the conference? Are you doing moderating the conference? Is that what you're doing in the old YouTube chat? And are you getting paid, says Brennan? Are you getting paid? I do this for the love of it, says Sandy. Oh, that's beautiful. You had me at hello, Sandy. You had me at hello, damn it. You had me at hello. All right. All right. So if you guys haven't checked out the Pulsechain conference, it's going to be on for the next 3 or 4 days. And of course, you guys know I won't be streaming tomorrow, take a day off, but I will be streaming on day 3 and day 4 of the Pulsechain conference on this channel and on the 3 channels that we run through. So we're streaming currently on Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. Over 10,500 subscribers, so I do really appreciate everybody's support. If you're new to the channel, of course, smash the subscribe button, hit the like. If you haven't gone to our Discord, the link's in the video description. We've got general Discord membership, $5 a month, 16 cents a day, pretty good value, getting all the info and all the cool community, as well as if you want to go to next level, we've got the Strategy Club. That's $35 a month. Get in there on for that as well. What else there? Brian says, pull up the Hex Scout and take a look, boss. I will. But I think we're going to wrap up here where we are, 45 minutes from the live. Enjoy your weekend, folks. Enjoy the Pulsechain conference. 1 day to go for trading for day 365. And, of course, 1 year after that, I guess 1 year anniversary countdown as per the Gold Pulse site. So not too bad. Not too bad. Sandy says, see you guys over there at the conference. Yeah, that's on now. Have a good day off tomorrow. Hex Token says, Sandy, you're most welcome. Thank you very much. And that is Brian's link, and it's way better than Wookie's link for the Strategy Club or to get into Discord. So go for gold on that. And finally, Lies Beneath, take care all. Nice one, Lies. Appreciate it. All right, let's play out the Magic Carpet Ride video on the way out. And I'll catch you again for another day on Pulsechain. Peace out, everybody. Take care. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.